Hi, I'm Julie Taylor, Research Assistant and Study Coordinator at University College London. This presentation describes a data approval and acquisition process for the study Launches QI, linking audit and national datasets in congenital heart services for quality improvement, funded by the Health Foundation. This study involved the linkage of 5 national datasets. We believe our experience gives a good picture of the complexity and burden of current data processes. Our core dataset is the National Congenital Heart Disease Audit, NCHDA, which defines a national population of patients who had undergone at least one procedure for congenital heart disease from April 2000 to March 2017. We wanted to link patients with records in NCHDA with any matching records in PICANET, ICNOC CMP, HES and ONS mortality data. These flow diagrams show the process involved. Before data approvals could be obtained, we needed the approvals as shown in the blue diagram. This required internal approvals for data protection, insurance and information governance, a completed IRAS application, protocol, and other study documents before we could get approval from the UCL Joint Research Office. Once submitted to the Research Ethics Committee and Confidentiality Advisory Group, we could begin on the data applications, as shown in the orange diagram. We had 4 data applications to complete for the 5 datasets, which were submitted to be approved by 3 data controllers. With study approvals and data sharing agreements in place, we could start the process of acquiring the data. This timeline shows the entire process from initial submission of each application, shown by the black arrows, to when we received approval, the yellow stars, and eventually received the data, green stars. Throughout the process, we had requests for further information or alteration of documents, the red arrows, our responses to which are shown by the blue arrows. For university process, this was mainly for separate approvals. Where each data processor had to transfer to a data controller or where there was a meeting to review the application, it is shown by a grey circle. Having initially allowed 6 months for data approvals, it took this time just to receive the university permissions. From submission of data applications to receiving approvals took between 3 and 7 months. From approval, it took a further 7 months to initiate the matching of patients in NCHDA through NICOR to PICANET and ICNOC. As of March 2020, NHS Digital were ready to receive identifiers, although this is now paused due to COVID-19. This table details the full list of documents required for the entire process. This amounted to 39 documents, totaling 327 pages, required by 10 regulators or departments, with total times documents shared 105. This highlights the first challenge, the huge amount of information required. This information was often a reiteration over 7 applications and a protocol which, although similar, required different wording, structure, and each of varying length. Further information was required for each from 1 to 7 times, as illustrated in the timeline. Such requests would create a time lag of 1 to 2 weeks between emails, lengthening the process considerably. Other challenges were resource limits, lack of clarity on the process, and documents that were more appropriate for clinical trials or cohorts enrolling participants. For the length of the study, we will also have yearly reports, amendments, extensions, and eventually the destruction of the data. It has taken us 2 years to receive data on what was originally a 2-year project. The entire process has been time-consuming in input time and elapsed time, complicated, iterative, and fairly soul-destroying. To anyone working under the current system, our tips include finding people who had similar requirements for advice, have a flexible startup period, and add clinical and audit experts to the study team. Ideally, moving forward, we would see significant changes. Our suggestions for this are for a shorter, streamlined system for retrospective data, for a clearer process to address the fear of sharing data and to prevent remit confusion across the different processes, for funders to acknowledge the time and expense required, and for institutions to consider, support and acknowledge the importance of the roles of research assistants, study coordinators and data managers. In conclusion, we have an ethical responsibility to make the most of routinely collected data to improve services. We aim to contribute to a national conversation on how to balance justifiably stringent data protection with the opportunity for beneficial research, to prevent the stifling of innovation, and to maximise the potential of data available for health services research. Thanks very much for listening.